As winter departs and spring arrives, Celtic are starting to blossom into life. Indeed, a victory here in Paisley tonight would be the 4th on the trot in all competitions, and that would represent the longest winning run of the entire season. Darren O'Dea is the captain in the absence of Scott Brown. All Celtic can do is keep piling up the points while hoping Rangers falter. St Mirren still no doubt thinking about what might have been at Hampden on Sunday. They have suffered through a wretched run of league form, stretching back to the start of this calendar year. 11 matches since last they've tasted victory in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League, when Aberdeen were defeated here. It was on the 12th of January. Gus McPherson's men just 2 points clear of the bottom club, Falkirk. Very different priorities for these two sides, Craig.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. And St Mirren fans will be looking for some sort of reaction tonight. Well, they actually played okay, Derek, at the weekend, but they didn't quite get the result they wanted. That goes without saying. And between now and the end of the season, it's just about getting results.
Andy Dorman was sparkling for St Mirren last season. He hasn't dazzled this time round. Indeed, you've got to go back to the 24th of October for his last goal. He has the ability, of that there is no doubt. A familiar Celtic huddle. Of course, it was the current Celtic boss, Tony Mowbray, who was influential in coming up with the idea of the huddle in the first place. Bobby Keane, cannot argue with that, can you? 9 goals in as many matches. The referee is Charlie Richmond. He oversaw St Mirren's cup win against Celtic last season and Celtic's 2-0 win over the Buddies earlier this term. It looks a bit like Mission Impossible for Celtic in the quest to catch Rangers, but that won't stop them going all out. St Mirren need their luck to change, especially in front of goal. They've gone 350 competitive minutes without finding the back of the net. Gus McPherson, the longest-serving manager amongst the current crop of SPL bosses. Aidan McGeady starting this match on the right-hand side for Celtic. Ki Sung-yong comes into the move. Support from Mark Wilson. Second successive start for Wilson. Had to endure 5 months without an SPL appearance, but things have really looked up for him in the month of March. Greg Dargo trying to hassle Laundry and Guemo off the ball. Well, Craig, it's a match that Celtic will expect to win and win well.
Well, I think maybe the supporters will think that. I think Tony Mowbray, as you've heard, all week has been saying how it's difficult to go away in the SPL, and in many ways it is. But with the quality Celtic have got out there, with the likes of Robbie Keane, then they should be putting this side at a lone confidence away. But saying it and going out and doing it's a different ball game.
Stephen Robb is the left back of choice for Gus McPherson. Now in went Ki Sung-yong, and Charlie Richmond takes a dim view of his actions.
Yeah, it's I think quite a lot of other times if the match had been a little bit older, it would have been a yellow card. As it is, it was a little bit of a word from Charlie Richmond early on, the common sense approach.
O'Dea's header. Stephen Thompson for St Mirren. Jack Ross looking for Mehmet. Robbie Keane comes into the move. Quickly out to McGeady. Running forward to his right is Wilson. He was crying out for the ball to be played to him. Dargo. There's another player who's been misfiring for months in front of goal. There's a bit of pace about him. Josh Thompson is cautioned. Less than 3 minutes into this match here in Paisley.
Well, it's lovely play, I've got to say, and I love the little layoff from Billy Mehmet, and whilst Key was a little warning and a word from Charlie Richmond, that's a no-brainer for the referee. So, walking a tightrope now, that young fella, I would say, and he deserved to go. Dargo was just a little bit too sharp from there, Derek.
Thompson, who by the way scored his first goal for Celtic at the weekend in a very comfortable 3-0 win over St Johnstone. In there by Rob. Comes to McGeady. Keane. And Guemo.
Pitch is very bobbly, Derek, very bobbly. It's dry. I don't think there's much water on it, so you can see it bobbling about already.
Did have a heavy shower of rain a few hours ago. As dry as a bone now. Wilson. McGeady completely fooling Stephen Robb. Murray has gone back there to cover for St Mirren. Thompson. It's Colin and Frank in the studio extolling his virtues, and he really has come onto a game. There was talk of sending Josh Thompson on loan in January. They couldn't do that because of, at that time, a lack of central defenders.
Well, you couldn't get any more out of the club at one time, could you? The bus wasn't big enough. So you know, you need bodies, and you know, I think that's been one big criticism from certain quarters of Tony Mowbray, that you know, he's gone too quickly with some of these players. But that's his judgment, Derek.
Tony Mowbray, his first season in charge of Celtic. And Lee Mayer anchoring the St Mirren defence. Here's Dorman. Wilson. Dargo trying to put him to the test. Wilson collapsing in a heap. Dargo carries on. Well, it all grinds to a halt for St Mirren. Good start though by Craig Dargo here.
Yeah, very good start, and you know, I think over his career, this is the type of player he's been, and I don't think we've quite seen that from him at St Mirren. Certainly not often enough. But you know, you get Thompson there making a challenge in the box. So yes, you know, Inverness and Dundee United, he was scoring goals. He's had his injury problems.
17th of October, last time he found the net. A 3-1 victory away to Falkirk.
It's not ideal that when you're a striker, is it? It's interesting, Gary Brady's playing more central tonight. You normally see him taking up one of the flanks. They pushed Stephen Thompson out wide. So Brady, maybe it's, you know, he won't have to quite cover the same amount of ground in the central area as he will in a wide position. He can just, along with Hugh Murray, sort of anchor in there and give that back four a little bit of protection. Maybe that's the reason for Gus McPherson doing it.
Milestone appearance for Gary Brady. 300th of his career. Celtic attacking the Drums Road end of New St Mirren Park in this first half. McGeady keeping it on the ground. It's away by Mayer for St Mirren. Whereas it was 3 at the back, or 5 at the back if you prefer, in the League Cup final. It's up to the Orthodox 4 for Gus McPherson's team this evening. Ross is the right back in the 4.
You very rarely see that these days, in all honesty.
It was a fad for a while, Craig, wasn't it? Back in the mid-1990s.
90s, yeah, it certainly was. Sweeper system. But most of the big teams in Europe veered away from it, and the rest sort of followed suit.
Ross with it for St Mirren. Made a competent beginning here. Celtic have prevailed on the last 6 visits to Paisley in the SPL. Did go down in the Scottish Cup this ground last season. Followed by Wilson. Keeping Andreas Hinkel on the bench. Gidi loses out. It's good play by Dorman for St Mirren. Here's Rob. Mehmet. Thompson read it well. The bobbles that Craig was talking about on this pitch are certainly evident. Nguema. There's Edson Braafheid, Dutch international, who's on loan from Bayern Munich. St Mirren have to get defenders back. McGeady taking on Rob. Nguema. Spent the first half of the season on loan at Reading. It wasn't a happy loan spell for the Irishman. McGeady. Too much on it. Lee Sung-yong trying to keep us alive here for Celtic.
That was McGeady, Derek. I just stay wide because Stephen Robb's not a natural fullback, and you've already seen it again. They'll just try to stick it down McGeady's throat, and he's turned the fullback, if you want to call him that, 2 or 3 times already.
McGowan has scored for Celtic before. Excellent goal against Rapid Vienna in the Europa League. And he did his best. Mark Wilson.
I wouldn't be too keen to go forward too quickly if I was Mark Wilson. As I say, I think what you want to do when you recognise that in front of you you've got arguably your most gifted white or your most gifted player in Aidan McGeady, you isolate him. You don't crowd him out by getting into space, and that just brings other bodies in. So I think Wilson's going to play it quite cute.
Ross for St Mirren. In his second season with the club. Just drifting out of play.
I think no doubt from St Mirren's point of view, it's get it up to Billy Mehmet with a decent service up to him, not just any old rubbish thrown up there, but something with a bit of quality, and get Dargo playing around the fringes. I don't think Brady and the Murray will be too keen early on to try and get forward and help. Try and play a little bit secure in there. We're a bit more worried about giving something away at the back to start with.
It's the preference of Gus McPherson in recent matches. It's been for 2 tall strikers, Mehmet and Michael Higdon. It's a little enlarged combination tonight. Craig Dargo is anticipating that Dorman would be making the run to his left. Gone, Craig. What have you made of it so far?
Well, I mean, keepers have hardly had anything to do. If anything, it's been a bit scrappy. The pitch is not great. 4-4-2 from St Mirren, and Celtic were in a slightly different shape with Samaras left and Robbie Keane up front, and McGowan just in behind McGeady on the right. So let's see if they can get enough support up early enough, and you know, when it does go up first time or quickly to the front, then at times Keane might just be on his own and it might come straight back. That is a problem when you haven't got 2 up there.
It's controlled by Ross for St Mirren. Under a bit of pressure from Samaras.
I'm maybe just thinking Tony Mowbray's plan is to stick Samaras out there, because more often than not when we see him, you know, he ends up in one of the wide positions anyway, doesn't he?
A very perplexing player, Georgios Samaras. You talk to Greek supporters, they can't quite work that out. He's, over the years, played very well for the national team. It's headed in by Murray towards Brady, and here's Mehmet. Lucas Zaluska put to work.
Oh, just didn't get a clean strike on it, Billy Mehmet, but could easily have done so. Was crowded out in the end. sort of on the half turn. Took a wicked deflection, it took all the pace off it. I didn't know you spoke Greek as well. You're a man of many talents, you are.
I'm not quite sure about that.
I think if you ask Man City fans about Georgios Samaras, they might tell you a different story, but that just shows you how it can change from club to club.
This is Wilson for Celtic. Comes off the head of Mayer. Samaras trying to pounce, and Gallagher. Well, Paul Gallagher was able to grab hold of it, and he's a relieved man.
Well, just talking about him, Samaras, and just at the back post there, he recipient of a ball that's not cleared, not dealt with properly, and he's got he's got ability. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And keeper's a bit lucky. That's a lovely first touch. He does really well to keep it down. That's a good save, and then hits him on the head, and that's a little bit of luck for that excellent save down to his right there from Gallagher. It really was an excellent save.
Paul Gallagher, son of Jim Gallagher, fantastic goalkeeper back in the day with Clydebank. He's a Paisley boy through and through, Paul Gallagher. Followed by Gary Brady. Optimistic shout for handball from the fans around us. Thompson. Dargo was showing for it. McGowan and Nguemo were trying to combine. Samaras, as Greg said, operating out there on the Celtic left. He did that with ease. And finally, it was John Potter to the rescue for St Mirren. Potter, the captain, who was once on the books of Celtic, never made a senior appearance for the club. SPFL era, Celtic have won all 6 away meetings with St Mirren. That's going back to the late 90s. Very easy victors. And last they were here in September by a 2-0 margin. And the free kick is carved out by Robbie Keane. St Mirren complaining about it.
Well, I certainly think he was backing into Lee Mayer here, so I think that's really unfortunate from a St Mirren point of view. I don't quite see what the defender could do any different, to be honest with you. He does do that particularly well, though, Keane, even though you would put him down as a target man. He's obviously not, but he knows how to use his body.
Ki Sung-yong and Edson Braafheid are surveying the scene. Braafheid runs over it. Ki straight into that St Mirren wall. Isn't quite right for McGeady. Rob had the measure of the situation. And Nguemo, his 11th consecutive start since returning from the Africa Cup of Nations. He's away there representing Cameroon. And he'll be in South Africa in June representing Cameroon at the World Cup. And it comes to Ki Sung-yong. So far St Mirren looking organised at the back. They are usually rather a difficult side to break down. Lack of attacking punch has been the problem. Not so much at the other end of the pitch. Nguemo. One statistic Nguemo would like to change is the fact that he's yet to score for Celtic. They've had that problem getting goals from the central midfield positions this season.
I think it's something that Tony Mowbray will look at in the summer for sure. Absolutely no doubt about that. They're lacking a dynamic midfielder, something I thought they were getting with Scott Brown. and may yet do. But you know, I think they've both been much of a muchness in there. And you mentioned Nguemo, I think you could look back at games and think how many times he was in the opposition penalty box. Hardly ever, if at all.
Got to go back to Stilian Petrov for the last box-to-box midfielder for Celtic, who could be relied upon for more than 10 goals a season.
Player who's now a sitting midfielder, so you're better to do it when you're a little younger rather than wait till you're knocking on a bit and the legs are not propelling you anymore. But it certainly gives teams an option, and I think it has been one option that Celtic have lacked.
Scored just once in domestic competition this season through a central midfield player. One goal from Barry Robson when he was with the club and with Middlesbrough. Dargo. Thompson. And it goes astray. Almost 19 minutes on the stopwatch. St Mirren 0, Celtic 0 in the Clydesdale Premier League. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on ESPN, and I hope you'll be with us for Bolton against Manchester United. Do United now look like favourites for the title? We'll see them on Saturday from 4:45, and then on Monday more Premier League action. Manchester City as they try to clinch 4th place and Champions League football next season. They are at home to Wigan. Our coverage starts at 7. And for all your programming information and a lot more, go to espn.co.uk.
Yep, that race is hotting up down south, both for the top and for the full spot. Ancelotti's had a bad time. They're talking about him being up for the sack down there. That shows you how harsh it can be. Could possibly still win the Premier League.
It's amazing how quickly things can change in this game. Receptions. McGeady and Robb. Stephen Robb getting there first for St Mirren. Key. And Torben thought he had won the ball by fair means. Charlie Richmond's pointing Ki Sung-yong in the right direction. Thompson's gone up for the set piece, in there by Ki. Josh Thompson finally unable to latch onto it.
Well, everybody back for St Mirren there, so it's going to come straight back at them again.
Braffide. That's in Braffide was saying the other day he hopes to be in Madrid for the Champions League final, supporting Bayern Munich, his parent club. It's just a small matter of Bayern having to get past Manchester United in the quarter-finals of that competition. He's on loan until the end of the season. Dorman.
Picked the wrong ball there, had to be reversed to Dargo, who, that's where that ball's gone, but he's come back out because he made the initial run. Derek Dorman didn't spot him. Plenty of space in behind, and that's what he's saying. Got to be aware when he makes that run. 22 minutes. I think we've had one excellent save from Paul Gallagher. St Mirren haven't really troubled the Celtic defence so far.
Looks as though he's in the mood tonight, Georgios Samaras, and we don't always say that about him. Dargo, difficult one for him to control, really. And Nguemo, and Potter using Ross.
They're looking for that ball quite a lot, Celtic, where if they want it back in midfield, Robbie Keane's pulling off the shoulders of the centre half, and he's looking for it in behind. course, he did score a great goal at Kilmarnock recently in the Scottish Cup with a ball in behind where he took an absolutely terrific first touch and then just dinked it in with his second. So it's about picking the pass out, but I think they've tried it two or three times now and it's not really been on.
Thompson, signed from Stockport County. Only starting to come into his own. He and Darren O'Dea forging a useful central defensive partnership. Feeling that Hamilton Accies are leading in their match away to Kilmarnock. Michael Antoine Courier scoring the goal. Hamilton doing a pretty effective job in recent weeks of keeping their head above water. Kilmarnock third from bottom. A couple of points ahead of St Mirren. Here's McGeady. St Mirren perhaps a bit slow in getting men back. McGeady's pass, Robbie Keane. Wonderful save by Gallagher. And somehow it stayed out. Jack Ross was back there for St Mirren.
Oh, it's great play from Celtic here, and this really is a terrific save. Probably better than his first one, again down to his right, but that's a little combination of McGeady and Robbie Keane, with Keane making that little diagonal run, and he takes it early, and that's why it was really difficult for Gallagher. And you've got to say a big well done to the goalkeeper. Terrific save.
Key with the corner. Thompson just trying to make contact with the ball.
He's a good goalkeeper, you know, Gallagher. He's sort of lost his way a little bit. Come into the Scotland squad as a youngster near the end of my time there, and had a spell in England where it didn't really work for him, but already in this game, coming up in 25 minutes, he's made two wonderful saves, and that was a good clearing header as well, in all fairness to him, on the line from St Mirren. So just living a little bit dangerously.
McGeady trying to bring his influence to bear. Braffai looking for options. Celtic have scored the most away goals of any side in the SPL this season, 28. Yet to get on target so far this evening. And Guemo to angle it to Samaras. Thompson.
I think one of the things that they might be able to capitalise on, Derek, by keeping Samaras really wide left and especially McGeady wide right, is that there will be space for Robbie Keane to make that run in between centre-halves and full-back for that little type of ball that McGeady just played from there, because they've got between a rock and a hard place there. They tuck in or they go wide and pick up the wide players.
This is Samaras, trying to veer into the middle. Samaras, Gallagher's there again for St Mirren.
I'm not the most power in this shot, but I think the one thing you've always got to be aware of, and Gallagher was, is that it's so rutted in and around the 6-yard box there that you could easily be embarrassed if you're a goalkeeper, but just make sure he gets his body behind it.
Oh, that was a lovely ball by Dorman, releasing Dargo. It was over the head of Billy Mehmet. Ross. Samaras nipping in there to help out the Celtic defence.
If it was Dargo, I'd make that type of run all evening. Down the left channel, down the right channel, and just make sure you're getting the ball delivered in there. Give the defenders something to think about.
It's a player who has displayed mesmeric qualities over the years, Craig Dargo. Seen them all too infrequently this season. Rafael as the player penalised. Well, it's turning into a magnificent night for Hamilton Accies. Simon Mensing has added to the earlier goal from Michael-Antoine Courier. 2-0 to Accies now at Rugby Park. Wall stakes it offside. Offside against Dargo.
I just think that was a bit of a waste there, really, when you've not really troubled Zaluska. They sent all the big guys forward there, Derek, so I thought there was a chance to try and stick in something with a bit of pace and quality and get, because from general play they've not really been able to trouble the back four yet, apart from when they get Dargo sort of down the channel, whereas they've looked a little lively.
Samaras. Rob. Encouragement course at Mirren from their own supporters. They know that it's going to be a fight between now and the end of the season. It's been that way really all season. Indeed, going back over a few campaigns. No strangers to relegation scraps. Key wasn't ideal for Wilson. Rob storming in. Samaras. Keane had no realistic chance of getting to it for Celtic. Tony Mowbray has spent much of the season searching for answers, searching for the right blend. One or two signs in recent weeks of an improvement, Craig.
Well, he spent a lot of the season sort of deflecting criticism as well, so yeah, I've said it all along, and I won't change my opinion. He's got to buy himself time, and as you said, Derek, he's been doing that in recent weeks. Whether it's all going to be enough in the end remains to be seen. You just never know, but he's got to soldier on and hope that the Celtic board are going to back him. Otherwise, he's going to have even bigger problems. Not trying to paint a negative picture or anything, but it's just the way it is, you know, when you're managing one of the big two in Scotland.
He's trying to put his own imprint on the side. He's brought in 14 players over the course of 2 transfer windows. Forward by Rob, straight down Wilson's throat. And Quamer. On McGowan. Lone spells at Morton and at Hamilton. McGowan bundled to the ground by Brady.
Yeah, really been unable to get into the game in that position, just sort of middle of the three, just behind Robbie Keane.
Wilson. McGeady. Rob trying to stay with him. Dorman trying to get Billy Mehmet involved. And Thompson in the end gives it to Wilson, who's being told by Charlie Richmond that he's in the wrong position, but too far forward. Celtic trying to ratchet things up. Dorman this time sticking to his task. It's a very flexible St Mirren midfield. And in positional terms, they change from match to match. I don't quite know who's going to be on the right, who's going to be on the left. Which 2 players will be in the centre. Mehmet, and offside. As Dargo wriggled on the left.
Well, if it had gone a bit earlier, they might have been okay, because Brathwaite was a little bit deeper, and And he'd also let his man, Stephen Thompson, make a diagonal run straight off him. So, they just held a high line there, Celtic, but it wasn't quite a straight back forward, a left back a little deeper.
Offside flag was up at the other end, but Charlie Richmond deciding that the advantage had already accrued to St Mirren. Georgios Samaras. Here's Braafheid. He expects to be a member of the Dutch squad at the World Cup finals. Samaras, the Greek international. Wilson, instant control. And McGowan with a shot. Dealt with by Gallagher. Now St Mirren on the quick break. Mehmet giving it to Dargo. And Celtic are exposed here. Darren O'Dea, well, he kept his head. And he had to.
He did well O'Dea, but he just gave him too much of a chance. Dargo there to get the challenge back in. Good advantage from the referee after a foul in Celtic's in St Mirren's own half and allowed the play to go. But McGowan really should have given them the lead just before that, prior to that, because it was a gilt-edged chance and he's completely fluffed his lines.
Wilson, brushing off his arm. There's one or two people around us thought that. Guemo, as Craig was saying, his tendency is to sit quite deep. More of a passer, you would say, as opposed to combative sort of midfield play.
He's not an incisive passer. He likes it. A lot of times it's sort of tippy-tappy. Even when in space, he wants the centre backs to come out like that and play the pass, like Ade tried to do there. So I think at times when he's on the ball, Derek, and he's got time and space, he can hit that diagonal, but he's got to hit it early. And I'm not quite sure he's that type of player.
It's Ki Sung-yong. Wilson for Celtic. Mayer taking command at the back. Pursuit here is Dargo. He's had plenty to say for himself in the first half. Dargo robbing Thompson of it, and Mehmet was arriving. Again, O'Dea was alive to what St Mirren were up to. McGeady. Nothing to do it on his own. McGowan now. Slightly built Celtic attacker. Well, it fizzles out for Celtic.
That was better from Dargo again. I said earlier that for me that he's got to do that. No point of watching me come short now and again. There's no point coming short. He's the one. He's got the pace to run in behind and stretch the centre backs. Don't worry about coming short. When you get it, he's just. If I was his teammate, I'd be saying to him, when I get it in a bit of space or whatever, I'm going to hook it in that channel. You make sure you get yourself in there.
McGowan couldn't control it. Jack Ross showing McGowan far too much of that one. Samaras. And Wilson. Well, I think McGeady to do the honours. Money there, one club man, he's only ever played for St Mirren. Managing to give it to Mehmet. Possibilities here for St Mirren. And there by Murray. Well, they appeal from Craig Dargo. Given away by Thompson. Craig Dargo turned towards referee Charlie Richmond just seconds ago.
No, that was nothing at the back post. It was a little nudge. Been soft.
Vincent Braafheid was the defender with him. Now then, it's come to Andy Dorman! St Mirren have the lead! And Andy Dorman at long last the 24th of October.
Well, they've just been looking a little bit more dangerous, just creeping into the game as it's been going on with Dargo getting in the channel. But this time it's just not dealt with by Big Thompson in there, who thinks about getting his head to it, but he's really, as a centre-half, he's going to go and stick his head right through that here. He doesn't do it. Mehmet makes a nuisance of himself. Dorman off the left-hand side, tucks in, does everything right, just keeps it down low. And Zaluska, who's really not had a save to make, in many ways, still's not get one to make, because he's got to pick it out of the back of the net.
Well, it's a goal that might well go a long way towards keeping St Mirren in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. It's a goal that does further damage to Celtic's already damaged title prospects. Here's Key. He forces the corner, the ball coming off wrong.
Well, I think that's the thing about having somebody like Billy Mehmet. You know, if nothing else at times, it just gives them a bit of a battering ram there. But, you know, as a centre-half, and I think Colin will talk about it in the studio, you've really got to go and clear that out.
Key with the delivery, Samaras with a header. Wrong side of the post.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because there's not a bundle of pace in the ball in. It's a decent ball in. It's not the paces I've ever seen. You can see how he's trying to generate the power in the header here from pretty much a standing start. And well, it's been a real blow for Tony Mowbray, but you don't take your chances, and Gallagher's made a couple of great saves as well. And then there's been a very good chance from McGowan that he fluffed his lines, and well, they've just been creeping back into the game, as I said. And all fairness to Dorman, it's a fantastic finish, and down low to Zaluska, and he was nowhere near it, was he?
Some young went into Hugh Murray with a bit of vigour. Free kick to St Mirren. Hugh Murray in his 14th season with the Buddies. St Mirren can take great strength from that goal from Dorman. Superb piece of finishing by the former New England Revolution player. And it comes from Rob. Zaluska thought about it. There's no real danger.
Well, they were having a better spell, weren't they? They went through a real, I think, torrid time for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes in that first half there, where they really couldn't get out anything. Gus McPherson's side threw forward, come straight back at them. But, you know, they've started to spin the Celtic, turn the centre-halves and put a bit more pressure on in midfield, and Mehmet was a threat. And good finish from Dorman, really good finish.
Play allowed to continue. Brathwaite still on the ground. Dargo. It's Mehmet. Just couldn't get hold of it. But now Zaluska. And Dorman isn't so very far away from embarrassing Lucas Zaluska. Brathwaite now back up on his feet. Celtic supporters will demand an instant response from the Parkhead club. Chance tonight, remember, to cut the gap at the top to 7 points, albeit Celtic will have played 2 games more than Rangers. McGeady. No problems for Paul Gallagher.
I certainly think you can look at Gallagher and say he's made two great saves, but I think you can also look at young McGowan in there, and that was a real chance when it came across the box to him. So, but in many ways at times, Robbie Keane has still been left a little bit isolated back in there, and he's up there on his own with the type of system that they're playing.
Robbie Keane just 1 goal away from hitting double figures with Celtic. He's a grand total of 200 in his club career. He's taking in goals in all competitions with his various clubs. McGeady. Measured ball, and Keane trying to trap it.
They haven't tried it for a wee while, but certainly early on there was 2 or 3 where very, very similar where they tried it there, and I've seen him over the years, Robbie Keane, just plucking those out of the air.
There's Potter, 30-year-old captain of St Mirren. Ross. Mehmet trying to get goal side of Thompson. Zaluska's there to claim it.
Oh, just did enough, didn't he? Josh Thompson, poor start to the game with a very early booking for the rash challenge. But if indeed St Mirren do go in the lead, Derek, it won't be the first time there's had to be a rallying cry from this Celtic manager this season. It's been far too often.
McGowan. Rough high to his left. Keane was trying to swivel onto it. Wasn't there for him. McGeady. Okay. Tony Mowbray will very shortly be able to get his message across to the Celtic players. They find themselves trailing here in Paisley, losing to relegation threatened St Mirren.
Yeah, well, you've got to take your chances, haven't you? And whilst it's not a sitter, he completely fluffs his lines there because, what, 10, 12 yards out and not too far behind it or after it, St Mirren take the lead. So, and such things, matches can change and games can change. So, on a very, very difficult pitch, and we mentioned that early. So, in all fairness, it might have taken a hell of a bobble in there, but you've got to factor that in.
Coming up shortly, Ray Stubbs in the studio with Colin Hendry and Frank McAvenny. Get their thoughts on what they've seen so far. Dan O'Dea putting his hands up by his face. So the Celtic captain for the night, captain for the spell, requiring treatment right on 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's Mehmet's elbow that catches him, his left elbow. It's difficult to say if there's any intent there. It's always a difficult one to call. Happened so quickly. Striker closing down as you'd expect. The left arm was up, I will say that. I don't think it had to be there.
We weren't going to have any added time, but we will now have one additional minute.
I just got... it's difficult to really know if there was any intent, but I didn't think the arm had to be anywhere near his head there, in all honesty. Maybe it was just one of those instances, I don't know.
Ready to be restarted by means of the drop ball. Very much for Celtic to shout about here. They haven't tested Paul Gallagher all that often. Here's McGowan. And Samaras. Oh, it had real sting. And Gallagher was up to the task.
Well, it certainly moved because he went to his right to start with Gallagher and he actually makes the save over to the left, so he certainly swerved in the air.
Outside whistle in Paisley. Tony Mowbray's men trailing. Thanks to a goal from Andy Dorman after 23 matches without scoring. He comes up trumps for St Mirren as they try to extricate themselves from the lower reaches of the table. But Celtic, no doubt about it, have some sorting out to do. Half-time score reads St Mirren 1, Celtic 0. St Mirren supporters have been tucking into their half-time pies with relish, and rightly so. They do taste quite agreeable, I can tell you, in this part of the west of Scotland. And Paul Gallagher has played his part in this St Mirren performance today. Paul Gallagher might know a thing or two about the pies as well, because his in-laws actually run the pie stalls here at New St Mirren Park. They do all the catering. So you know who to blame if you don't find the pies and hot dogs to your taste.
You know, Sam, you're just a fact-finding fiend. You are.
On a bad day.
That, by the way, and that could have come out horribly wrong when I said that there.
You did well, Craig. Well, how will Celtic fare in the second half, faced with adversity? Not for the first time this season. Look at Samaras. Well, he might get away with it.
Well, they sometimes look worse on the slow-mo cameras. I don't think there was a great deal in that, in all honesty. There was a bit of contact. He looked quite sprightly at times, Derek, didn't he, Samaras, in the first half? We were talking about that at half-time. But he's got to do it more. There's no doubt that's a criticism that he can't hide from.
There's Keane. Highly unlikely he'll be with Celtic next season. On loan from Tottenham till the end of this campaign. The Celtic fans wouldn't complain at all if he were to return. Again, so far it's a Celtic performance that quite simply hasn't been good enough. And Dargo has freedom again here for St Mirren. That's a corner.
Well, there's been a real thorn in the Celtic side when he gets in the right position, and we talked about him running in behind all first half and spinning down the channels and making those runs and more or less getting the Celtic back full turned and facing their own goal. That will be Craig Dargo's job for the rest of this game.
It's McPherson. Imparting words of wisdom. It's Dorman with the corner. And was it handball against Samaras? Certainly the St Mirren players were convinced. Ready for the home side. Well, right across the face of goal. Dargo couldn't touch it on. Got a controversial moment here.
Well, once I tell you, he's not happy, but there's a gaping hole here in this Celtic defence again. Let's have a look at it. He sees it. And that's a handball, I'm afraid. And I think they get away with that big time because it doesn't come blind to him past him, and he sees it from a good 6 or 7 yards away. Why his hands are down there as well, Derek, I just don't know.
Here is Samaras. It is a moment that will loom large if Celtic do come back here.
And it probably come off both hands, didn't it? It did hit his midriff, I'll give you that, but it hit both hands, and for me. And why they're down there, I don't know.
Charlie Richmond decided that the penalty wasn't in order. He's got another situation to sort out here. André and Guemo right beside him.
Do you know the other thing about that ball in, Derek, is that it actually bounced almost right in the middle of the 6-yard box. How that can come about, I don't know.
It was a twitchy moment for Celtic. Now Key and Brathwaite stand over the free kick. Key, the Korean, is entrusted with the task of taking it. And thereby Nkwemo. Mehmet was back as the extra defender. A tall centre forward. Samaras. Now it's McGeady. Shuffling for space. Wilson saw it charged down. Stephen Robb was defending that time for St Mirren. Celtic playing towards the railway end of New St Mirren Park in the second half. Trim little ground, opened last year. Now Celtic looking for a bit of attacking momentum. Brady with a clearance that time. Gallagher! Second time of asking.
Well, it's probably the easiest thing he's had to do in this game, and he made it look the most difficult. Robbie Keane trying to be sneaky just behind him there, waiting for him to roll it out. It's been about a while. Gallagher not going to get caught out with that. It's hugely important, Derek, that St Mirren don't put the brakes on and sit in. There's a long way to go, and there will be times in this second half, I would imagine, that they're going to be under pressure, but they've always got to have an out ball in Mehmet and Dargo.
Haven't fared all that well, St Mirren, this season in the SPL when they have scored the first goal. 9 times they've won just twice in those 9 games. They've lost on 4 occasions. McGeady, and Keane was waiting to apply the finishing touch.
Well, it's a really good ball fizzed across, but you can see there's only really Robbie Keane in the box when this ball comes in. McGowan's trying to get there, but there's nobody else, and for me, they've got to get more bodies forward, and he's maybe a good yard or 2 away in the end, but it's a type of ball that I think he'll want in, and he thrives on, and he'll make the run in there, and it's up to McGeady to deliver that.
2 Republic of Ireland internationals combining. Not quite to the desired effect. Thompson. It's a good quick ball to Dargo. Now Ross has joined the attack, and the header towards goal from Mehmet.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, but if he can flick this over to Zaluska's right-hand side, that's the only way he's going to score. Far right-hand corner, and that's what he's trying to do.
Scored just once in his last 10 matches in all competitions, Billy Mehmet. Glasgow coming on the 20th of February. It's in the 1-1 draw away to Kilmarnock. Thompson. Away from Mayer. St Mirren. Mehmet was being hassled by Nguemo. A bit bemused by the decision, the Cameroon international. Also with the St Mirren free kick. Going up immediately. Mehmet just trying to get into position. It's another test of Celtic's mettle. They've lost 6 times already in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League this season. Potter. Keane. Potter has been penalised. Probably suspects Keane was being a little crafty, but there was contact by Potter. Quickly taken, Ki Sung-young for Celtic, who are chasing this game. McGeady goes to ground. McGeady wins the free kick.
Charlie Richmond just suggesting that there was a tug in McGeady's shirt there.
It's been quite fussy tonight, Charlie Richmond, in terms of telling the players where they ought to be when it comes to taking free kicks and throw-ins. Edson Braffide, low trajectory. And Keane trying to time his run to perfection just in front of Gallagher. Paul Gallagher wasn't put off.
Well, almost not quite sure it was the intention to drill it in as low as that. I don't think St Mirren's defender at the back post was great either. There's a couple of Celtic players getting round the back, but wasn't the greatest of ball in.
Someone else trying to run away with it. Jack Ross tidying up for St Mirren. 1-0 here to the home side. Andy Dorman's goal. Here's the difference, and what a boost it would be to a team fighting relegation. Still it is 2-0 to Hamilton against Kilmarnock at Rugby Park. If things were to stay as they are now, St Mirren would jump clean of Kilmarnock, move up to third bottom. Falkirk, remember, last night drew with St Johnstone away from home. Falkirk, the bottom club. No question of the free kick being awarded as Keane went down. This is Key. Wilson. Nguemo. A turn by McGowan. Potter stabs it behind for the Celtic corner.
Yeah, it was well defended there. What he did was he took up a position where he felt the ball was going to go, so he got himself in a good area here. That's experience for you.
Celtic knocking on the door here. It's the left-footed Braffide, and Gallagher missed it completely. Keane missed it as well. He's asking the question about handball.
Well, I mean, Murray could only have been about... I mean, it might have hit him, his hands were down, that's for sure. They went up in the air. He was so close to him, they could do nothing about it.
Now Key with it, and Thompson. And it's a goal kick.
Let's have a look at this again. There might have been a hand in here a little bit earlier. Gallagher misses it. And again, it was Murray. I think that would have been soft. And that one hits him right in the... hits him in the rib cage, that, doesn't it? But you saw the first one came at him so late when Gallagher's fist went up, and I don't think you were going to get a penalty kick for that. Certainly would have been very difficult for the officials to see it, which they obviously didn't.
McGeady. Stumbled by Rob. Again, Keane going towards the near post. Might just work out here for Dargo. He tries to unbalance Thompson. Mehmet. Dargo. And space for Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson has scored a second goal for St Mirren. They have taken another step towards saving themselves. Celtic torn apart on the back.
Well, it probably sums up this Celtic season. The fragility at the back is unbelievable. But again, it's that man Dargo involved with Billy Mehmet. Works its way out to Thompson, and I think Zaluska should save this. I've got to say it, I think it's there for him. I don't think he's stretching too much. You've got to credit Thompson because he goes across him. I think the goalkeeper's got to do better there. He goes down far too slowly. It's not right in the corner. In fact, it's more or less right in the middle of the goals, Derek. Not good goalkeeping, but great play from St Mirren.
Stephen Thompson in his 50th match for the club. Artur Boruc looking on. His compatriot Lukas Zaluska seeing the ball go past him twice this evening. Celtic coming a cropper against a relegation threatened side, and the goal scorers in this game, Dorman and Thompson, the four tonight, hadn't scored since October.
I mean, if that ball is driven into the corner by Stephen Thompson, then fair enough, but it was almost in the middle of the goals, and the keeper he didn't get down quick enough. It's as simple as that, but there was really good play from Dargo and from Billy Mehmet. Good movement, pacey. They got sucked in, the full-back, and before you know it, he sticks it in the back of the net, and Tony Mowbray's miserable season continues.
11 league matches without a victory. St Mirren haven't had that winning feeling since the 12th of January, but Celtic are on the wrong end of the scoreline here in Paisley tonight. Tony Mowbray is going to change things. Marc-Antoine Fortuné will come on. Getting his instructions, Fortuné, from Peter Grant. And Ki Sung-yong is going off.
Now, I'm not surprised that Ki Sung-yong's going off, but you know something, as a game ebbs away, I would be inclined, and we've spoken about Landry and Guemo, and some might say, well, we need a defensive midfielder in there. No, you need people in there that are cute enough to play the game at the right time, but can get forward and offer a threat as well. And, you know, for me, you're going to get nothing going forward from Guemo.
McPherson takes exception to this latest decision. Well, we thought the big day was going to be on Sunday. The League Cup final, a Hampden appearance. It all went awry against 9 men, and here they are against the other half of the old firm, prospering. Now Keane, controlled by Fortuné, having just come on. Samaras. Fortuné. And Thompson, the goal scorer.
Well, he must have been he must have been getting no communication, Derek, because that could easily have gone back into Gallagher's arms there. Can't blame the player defending it. You've got to say, did he get a shout from his keeper?
Bouncing off Wilson. Goals from the St Mirren supporters over on the far side, thinking that it was handball. Samaras. Away by Potter.
Well, Samaras has gone to the right, McGeady over to the left. Fortuné through the middle. Robbie Keane, and the misery continues, I'm afraid, at the moment for the Celtic manager.
Samaras is robbed of it. Away goes the sprightly Dargo. He's having quite the night for himself. Actually thwarted by Nguemo. Samaras doing the ball winning. Scurry by McGeady. And Robbie Keane. Oh, the flag had gone up. Much to the chagrin of Keane.
Well, flag went up really early. And that's the correct decision. Again, it's that combination we saw early in the first half of McGeady infield, try to slip that little pass, that little slide rule pass through to Keane, which certainly worked early on, where Gallagher made a great save, made a great couple of saves actually.
That's McPherson standing there right on the edge of the technical area, so mentally kicking every ball with his players. What a story this would be.
Well, you mentioned the cup final and that disappointment, but in any league, Derek, in the world, in any competition, it's about your bread and butter, and SPL safety is a priority for all these clubs, and that will be no different for St Mirren. So it's a huge night for them.
To go back to 1989 for the last time St Mirren defeated Celtic in the league. In Paisley, Keith Walker scoring the only goal. 1-0 win. St Mirren losing their composure just for a second.
Well, it's a long way to hang on, isn't it? Because if you factor in some injury time, it's going to be the best part of half an hour. 2-goal lead, mind you, so we've got a little bit of leeway.
Far too strong for Robbie Keane. Is he trying to pick him out?
It's too straight as well. I mean, from that distance, and he's a good 40-50 yards away. He's going to have to hit it with a fair amount of pace here, so he's never going to stop this. No way.
Celtic selling out their allocation of tickets for this game. Not too many reasons for the Celtic supporters to be cheerful. What can they do to change things? And Nguemo's pass for Fortuné. Wilson Given to it by Dorman. Andy Dorman, who didn't start at Hampden on Sunday against Rangers in the League Cup final. Ordered on by Samaras for Celtic. Celtic, by the way, have scored in 13 of the 15 SPL away matches this season. The two exceptions being the February defeats at the hands of Kilmarnock and Rangers. Do they have a goal in them? Do they have goals in them? Tony Mowbray has been wearing the look of a worried man on quite a few occasions this season, I think it's fair to say. Off ahead of Brady. I think a lot of people were wondering what St Mirren would have left after that scarring experience on Sunday. Well, we've found out what they've put into this performance, and the answer is an awful lot. Plenty of spirit as well to go with the organisation. Samaras, McGeady, Keane. Trying to bar the way to goal. That's what Potter had in mind. Forward by Ross. 2-0 to St Mirren as we approach the midway point of the second half, Craig.
Yeah, they're just going to dig in there. Going to make sure they don't make any basic errors.
Rangers, remember, will have 2 games in hand on Celtic after tonight's game. It's a 10-point gap between the 2 title rivals. McGeady taking Ross with him. Here's McGowan. Wilson giving it to Samaras. And Guemo. Deary me.
Well, cutting a forlorn figure. And I'm afraid that's not good enough. And we've spoken about Landry and Guemo. He's not praying already, is he? I mean, this would be I think a feast for Tony Mowbray's detractors if it was to stay like this, and I think that's a huge problem for him, and a huge part of the problem.
Celtic might require intervention from on high of some sort if they are to pit Rangers at the post.
I mean, it's not inconceivable if Celtic were obviously become a little bit desperate there, that there's not a third in this for St Mirren.
There's Thompson, who scored the second goal. There's too much height on it. Stephen Thompson, who has spent so many years of his football career playing south of the border.
Yeah, I think I've got to say he's going for goal there, which is a little bit ambitious from where it was.
And Charlie Ruchman thought about it for a second and elected to give the handball decision against Samaras. St Mirren understandably in no particular rush to take this free kick. Try to run it on for St Mirren. It's a corner to the home team. The ball coming off OD.
If memory serves me right, it was unless they've had one in between, it was the last corner that came in that Celtic didn't defend well, and Samaras handball off both his hands. There was a huge gap in the middle of the 6-yard box when that ball landed.
Dorman with that low corner. I know it almost worked out for St Mirren. Well, Zaluska had to react. Murray was involved here. Well, Mehmet too.
He gets right in front of O'Day here, and Fortuny doesn't deal with it. They're not coping with anything into the box whatsoever. They're standing static rather than dealing with it.
Dorman. And away by Nguemo. Charlie Richmond had spotted a push inside the area.
I think the ball might have swung out of play, Derek. That's what he was, because if it had been a push, he could actually have played an advantage for Celtic there. But I think the ball was swung in, and it was deemed to have crossed the line, so it was out of play.
Absolutely right, Craig. That was the decision. Goal kick. And still, it's 2-0 to St Mirren. Goals coming from Dorman and from Thompson. Forward by Ross. Doughty defending here by the Paisley Saints. It's Wilson. Now Keane holding it up. Samaras. And Dorman there as a bit of extra protection just in front of Rob.
Is it not time for maybe somebody like Rasmussen, Derek? Maybe playing up there with Fortuny, taking maybe McGowan off if he's not going to take Nguemo off, and just dropping Robbie Keane in that hole behind, and you've got one sitting midfielder. You're 2-0 down. You don't need any more than that.
Certainly Celtic have to gamble to some extent. You just feel here.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a gamble, but it's a gamble that's got to be worth taking, surely.
Rasmussen, who joined in January, hasn't had as much of a look in as he perhaps thought he might. And again, when he joined, he wasn't aware that Robbie Keane was going to be one of his teammates. Mehmet, a spoiling tactic. Less than 18 minutes to go. Celtic staring down the barrel. What would be their 7th league defeat of the season. Mehmet. Zaluska skewing it out of play, and the St Mirren supporters not unhappy about that, cheering every tackle and every throw-in. Anything that's positive at all for St Mirren. Mehmet trying to combine with Thompson.
Well, you know, it's been an excellent night for them so far, St Mirren. It really has.
Okay, Brady. Dargo, his idea was to feed it out to Mehmet on the right. Rob. And it was no-nonsense back pass.
I think Celtic are going to make the change. Rasmussen's making his way back. It's about time as well. I mean, he's going to have less than 20 minutes, so no point waiting any longer. He's a goal scorer, and they need goals.
Is awarded here. Blackhyde right on top of Thompson.
I think it's what Tony Mowbray does, because obviously he's brought Fortuny on as a striker. He's not going to take Robbie Keane off unless he's got an injury. So he'll have to fit it around what he's got on the pitch already, because Rasmussen certainly can't play anywhere else. He's an out-and-out goal poacher.
Morten Rasmussen is he the man for this particular task. Looks as though Edson Braafheid is the player who'll be withdrawn. It's McGeady, Brady attending to him. He's looking a bit of space between himself and Aidan McGeady that time, Gary Brady. Samaras. Potter doing just enough, and Gallagher. And they're all fighting for each other, St Mirren players.
Well, he makes some lovely little dart runs, you know, Robbie Keane, but I've got to say Potter and Mirren have dealt with him quite well so far, just in behind. And well, it's going to be a real rejig because it's a left back going off and a striker coming on. So we'll see what Tony Mowbray's plan is for the remaining 15 minutes.
Morten Rasmussen has scored 2 goals in 6 previous Celtic appearances. A man from Denmark. It's for Today. And he goes down.
That was a pull back there, for sure. I mean, I could see that from the best part of 90, 100 yards away in the gantry here. And there's definitely a pull in the arm.
It's Andy Dorman, that's the player in question.
Well, let's see what he's done. I've got Darren, I've got O'Day who can go to left back, but they've nobody to replace him, and they're going to go to 3. It's difficult to tell. McGeady's dropped a bit deeper at the moment. Samaras is now switched to the left, so it's a real mishmash.
I remember when they were chasing the game against Kilmarnock back in February, Craig, they ended up with Scott Brown, curiously enough, at left back. It was strange looking Celtic make-up towards the end of that match. They were trailing 1-0, they lost the game 1-0.
Well, I can tell you folks, and you're not hearing things. McGeady's gone to left back. But maybe that's sort of left wing, left back, incorporating the whole position.
So Craig off the head of Mayer. And there is Paul Gallagher. St Mirren 2, Celtic 0. St Mirren defeated Celtic in the Cup last season. It's been a long time since they have managed to overcome them in the league here in Paisley. 1989 was the last time. Free kick. Brandon O'Tee letting everyone know with his gesture that he didn't think that was the correct decision by Charlie Richmond.
Well, we'll see if this move works for Celtic, but I've got to say once again I am perplexed by the decision making. I've got to say that there's no other way around it. But he's got Samaras wide left now, and he's got Aidan McGeady at left back. And there you go.
Not sure how many times in his career Aidan McGeady has found himself at left back. As we said, Craig, it's left back with scope to go forward.
I'm sure all the people in all will say no, he wasn't, but and it might work. There's still a bit of time left. It's just that, you know, if we were trying to pick what Tony Mowbray was going to do as we were, I think it was probably about the last thing we would have thought of.
Rasmussen, and scamper there by Gallagher to make sure he got to the ball ahead of Robbie Keane. Keane, and a bit of back again, and Robbie Keane reacting with some fury. Potter and Keane together. Free kick goes to Celtic.
Well, he's dragged him down. There's no, in fact, it's like WWF wrestling here as he takes him to the ground. I mean, he's got hold of his chin there.
An out-and-out mugging, wasn't it?
And then he had the audacity to complain.
McGeady floats it in for Celtic. And for Today. He was optimistically pointing towards the corner flag. It's not to be. Now, are Kilmarnock going to fight back against Hamilton and claim something from that game? It's now 2-1. Chris Maguire on loan from Aberdeen with the goal for Kilmarnock. We'd like to remind you that we've got more Clydesdale Bank Premier League action on Saturday from noon. We'll be at Tynecastle for Hearts against the leaders Rangers, and also on Saturday on ESPN, Bolton against Manchester United from the Barclays Premier League. That's from 4:45. For all your programming information and plenty more, go to espn.co.uk. Gus McPherson knows what any victory would mean. Tony Mowbray is a manager who's well aware of that equation too. They defeats. Total standing at 6 in the SPL for Celtic currently. Followed by OD, looking for the head of Rasmussen. Fortune. Still St Mirren keep it tight at the back. They've kept their shape. They've been obdurate here. Forward by Thompson, has to get at the midfield area. Samaras. It's Wilson's delivery, and it's Keane's header. Still, it is 2-0 to St Mirren.
Yeah, very difficult. It's just behind them, I think. And again, it's another one of those headers we've seen tonight where you've just got to generate all the power in the header. And in all fairness, they may have gone to a back three with Thompson being the middle one, which that might be their argument, saying, well, McGeady's playing wing back. So, but anyway, I don't think it's such a positive move. In all fairness,
it's Fortune out there on the right, McGeady on the left. Some of the Celtic supporters heading home.
And all the hands are an already, championship. An SPL title that a lot of people felt was, unless there was a catastrophe for Rangers, that it's going to be theirs. I mean, they've got to be chuckling away to themselves to know they've got a game tonight. It's got to be handed on a plate here.
The mood of dejection in the Celtic camp, at the Celtic end of the ground. Seen those expressions just once or twice this season, Craig.
Yes, and St Mirren fans singing "We can see you sneaking out," which is a bit of a change from when we were last year. But they've had a great night. I mean, it's been a big few days for them, and we can talk about Celtic and their fans leaving until the cows come home. But here we've got a club that are in the midst of relegation. We've got a manager under. I mean, look at that. Doesn't even want to look at the game, Tony. But credit St Mirren. It's really difficult at the bottom having to dig results out.
It was almost an Ali McLeod moment there just seconds ago, wasn't it?
Well, as I said earlier, it just gives his detractors more ammunition, and he'll have to face the wrath of supporters again.
And then St Mirren pushing for the third! It's truly unbelievable! Andy Dorman for the second time tonight, and St Mirren are going to defeat Celtic in the SPL.
Well, you just get the feeling, you can talk about it on the bench when the cows come home, but we have players out in that field have got to take responsibility. They really have. And to punt a ball into the middle of the field from there, it's not the done thing. I think it's Thompson who's the young fella's had a pretty hard night tonight. I've got to say that. But when that ball drops in and around the penalty box, I think they're sharper St Mirren. They want it a bit more, and that's the second great finish from Dorman. But well, they'll be leaving now in their in their thousands, because they ain't coming back. No way.
It's a mass exodus now, and surely we can say once and for all, there is no way back for Celtic in this title race. Arithmetically they might have an outside chance, but they have fallen apart here in Paisley tonight.
Well, I tell you, he is Tony Mowbray, I'm talking about, and his coaching team. They are going to feel the heat after this one like never before. You bet your bottom dollar on that one, because this could be a bit as bad as it's been from. I mean, it's embarrassing, Derek. That's what it is. I don't mean that in a bad way to St Mirren in any way, shape or form.
There's a feeling that Celtic were on their way back and were trying for a fourth successive win in all competitions. The defence had tightened up. Oh, and Thompson maybe gets straight to Dargo. It was a very poor touch by Thompson. Dargo! Zaluska's there. He had the audacity to try to chip Lucas Zaluska that time, Craig Dargo.
Well, it was on, but I'll tell you what else was on, was a ball slipped out to Billy Mehmet, and there might just have been a fourth, but what a poor ball from Samaras in midfield. And young Thompson at the back said he's had a dreadful night, he's had a real nightmare.
Heaney. It's promising again for St Mirren. Mehmet. Samaras went sliding in. Guemo halting the progress of Billy Mehmet. Mehmet, the former captain of the West Ham United Academy team. He is going to go off, having put in a wonderful shift. He's not the only one holding in that category for St Mirren. How they are loving it. The St Mirren supporters who were so disappointed on Sunday at Hampden. And Michael Higton will be their replacement. One striker for another, one tall striker for another.
Yeah, it's like for like, isn't it? He's had a fine night, Billy Mehmet. And as you mentioned, job done for him. And, well, I mean, for St Mirren Football Club, this will be one of the, well, I say the greatest nights, but one of the better nights they've had for a long time.
Oh, it's Thompson, it could get better for St Mirren. It's number 4. A double for Stephen Thompson. Just as it was a double for Andy Dorman before him. St Mirren have run riot, and Celtic are on the receiving end of a thrashing that will spell the end of their title push.
Well, a thrashing, it's an absolute pasting, but, you know, there's no left back. You know, he's taken Brathwaite off, he's put Aidan McGeady in a left-sided position, call it left back, call it left wing back, I don't particularly care what you call it, but there's nobody at home, I'm afraid. Absolutely nobody at home, and there hasn't been more often than not when St Mirren have asked questions, and well, they're throwing scarves in. And I tell you what, I think honestly, I think the more experienced Celtic players here tonight and for most of the season should be hanging their head in shame at not only this performances but quite a few others.
I just wonder, Craig, is this the sort of heavy defeat that might mean the end for the current Celtic manager?
You know, it's never been my job, and it never will be, to sit and say somebody should be sacked. That's up to people that run football clubs. But when supporters start stamping their feet and raising their voices, and boy, they will after this, then I think board members and clubs look to blame people, and the buck stops with the manager, I'm afraid.
Wilson trying to feed it in. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody in Scottish football, not even the most optimistic St Mirren supporter, would have put money on this kind of score. Samaras.
Well, Derek, I think when the bus gets back to Celtic Park tonight, what these fellas might find is that it's not a Celtic Park of late on with nobody about. There might just be quite a few people waiting and venting their frustration. In fact, if I was a betting man, I'd say there'd be quite a lot of them. I've experienced it myself. It's not nice, but they're going to be in for it. But let's not miss the story here. What a fantastic performance this has been from St Mirren Football Club.
No, well said, Craig. That should not get lost in this at all. Craig Dargo departs, and he was in the mood from the word go. Rory Loy is on, the 22-year-old who's on loan from Rangers, just turned 22 5 days ago. This is his third SPL appearance for St Mirren. Celtic torn asunder. There is to be another change, and this will give the St Mirren supporters a chance to say thank you to Andy Dorman and his 2-goal contribution. For this match, he hasn't scored since October. Stephen O'Donnell, the nephew of the late Phil O'Donnell, is on. We're going to have only 2 added minutes. Peter Lawwell, the Celtic chief executive, who would want to be in his shoes at the moment? Who would want to be in Tony Mowbray's shoes? Well, we're hearing that Dundee United lead Rangers in the Scottish Cup. David Robertson scoring in the 90th minute of that quarter-final replay.
Well, we want 5 as the shout from the St Mirren fans, I tell you. They struggle to score goals, I think that's the thing over the piece, but to score 4 tonight.
And going across towards Zaluska, there's Thompson on a hat-trick. Celtic were all at sea again. Higdon. Well, that's why this is such a wonderful game. St Mirren hadn't won in the SPL since the 12th of January. They were struggling to find the back of the net. How does it happen? 4 goals against Celtic. And no response from the Parkhead club. It has to go down as one of the great nights in the history of St Mirren Football Club. 4-0 to Gus McPherson's team. Tony Mowbray makes his way immediately to the dressing room. Harsh words will be uttered. You can take that as read. The Celtic supporters will want to have their say, because surely now they find themselves out of the title race. 10 points behind Rangers with 2 more games played. But St Mirren, with this triumph, have moved out of the bottom 2. They can think now, with some optimism perhaps, about staying in the SPL. A staggering full-time score at New St Mirren Park of St Mirren 4, Celtic 0.